You're picking tons and tons of green beans from your garden. Now, what are you gonna do with them? Today, I'm gonna show you how to cook smothered green beans. This is a recipe that my mom and my grandmother used to cook, and it is a staple here in Southern Louisiana. So check it out, smothered green beans. First, I'm gonna take 2 onions and chop and dice them pretty fine. Now I'm gonna put olive oil, just enough to really kind of cover the bottom of the pan. And I'm gonna get that fire going on high just to get it hot. Then I'm gonna throw my onions in and lower that fire. In the meantime, I've got a pot of water boiling, and we are going to boil some salted pork. This is what makes this dish so good. Now, salted pork is something that's pretty easy for us to get here in Southern Louisiana. If you're not from Southern Louisiana, let me know in the comments, is this something that's easy for you to find? Or is it something that isn't really carried in your grocery stores? Because that'll let me know if, hey, this is something you have available. And if not, maybe we can do a video one day on how to make your own salted pork to be able to use in recipes like this. Because we use it fairly often, and it is such a flavor enhancer for so many recipes, especially for beans. We're gonna get our onions into our hot oil and turn that fire down to a medium heat. Medium low. And we're gonna saute these onions until they start to get a little on the brown side, and then we're gonna add our garlic. Once your water is boiling, you're going to want to put your salt meat in and let it start to boil. This is a very, very important step anytime you're using salted pork, because there is so much salt in it. Boiling it releases a lot of the salt. If you put the salt meat straight into whatever you're cooking and cook it in, let's say your beans, they will be inedible. So we're gonna boil it first, get a lot of that salt out, and then add it into the green beans later. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of minced garlic and let that cook for a couple minutes. All right, so once that garlic is becoming very fragrant, you also notice that the onions are really, really cooked down. We're going to add our green beans. I have a 1-gallon Ziploc bag full of green beans that were picked and cleaned straight from our garden. And we're gonna stir that and begin to let it cook on a medium to low fire. We're going to continue to let that cook on a medium-low heat, stirring very often. If ever it begins to, the beans look like they're starting to get a little on the drier side, or they begin to stick to the bottom of the pot, we're going to add just a little bit of water. You don't want to add a ton of water because you really don't want the beans to boil. We just want to add enough so that they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. All right, we're still cooking this down. It's been probably cooking for about 40 minutes now. But we are gonna continue to cook this down as the green beans just continue to fall apart. I know this is typically not how people cook green beans, but trust me on this. This is delicious. And don't trust me, trust my old Cajun grandma. So once your salted pork has been boiling for about 20 minutes, take it out, put it on your chopping board, let it cool down, and then we're gonna cut off all of the bones as well as the fat, and then chop the rest into about 3/4 inch to 1 inch chunks. That's gonna go into the beans a little later. Also, while waiting for the beans to cook down, you can take really as many potatoes as you want. I'm using 5 medium potatoes. Peel them, dice them. This really is going to depend on how much you like potatoes. If you don't like potatoes at all, you can just skip this step. We like a lot of potatoes, so we're using 5. I would say first time you cook it, start with about 2 or 3. And then next time, if you say, hey, we could use a little more potatoes in that, go for a couple more. All right, we're getting very, very close to being able to put the potatoes in. But if you notice here, we still have some that are a little on the crunchy side. We really want this cooked down and smothered, where it's really, really soft. I know this is not how people typically cook it, but trust me, this is the way that my Cajun grandmother cooked it, and this is the way you will always want to eat it. All right, so we still have a few of the beans that still haven't formed. That's okay, they are pretty soft. So we are going to add our potatoes, and I'm going to start off with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and then we will adjust seasoning from there as we get a little closer to the end. All right, from this point, we're going to continue to cook it down, adding water as it begins to stick, just a little bit of water at a time, until the potatoes are very close to being tender. When the potatoes are close to being tender, we're going to add our salted pork into the pot. All right, potatoes are close to being tender, so I'm going to add in my salt meat, stir that in. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of black pepper. All right, so we cook that until the potatoes are completely tender, and we are done. So we turn off the heat. Now you can eat this just like this, but you know we're in South Louisiana, so you know we're going to eat that on some rice. And there it is, smothered green beans, just like my Cajun grandmother would make. Try it, you will love it, and you will never want to eat green beans any other way. So thank you guys for watching. If you like our videos, we would love for you to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you always know what's happening here at Selah Homestead. Thanks for watching.